Well, welcome everyone to the May monthly update from Jill Steele with Legal Futures. And it is, as usual, on wills, probate, trusts, tax and elderly client matters. And like many of our updates, it covers quite a range of things, from government departments to cases to developments in practice. So this month, there are a couple of important developments related to the COVID-19 pandemic from both the probate registry side and also HM Customs and Revenues. So we'll look at those in some detail. There's also a range of practical points related to how people are dealing with the court protection cases. And also throughout, I have a number of cases for you today. So without further ado, let me just remind you that the aim of this session is to provide the busy practitioner with a monthly roundup of the new developments in these special areas that we all like: wills, probate, trust, tax and elderly client matters. So as a result of listening to this session, participants should be able to keep up to date in their professional competence, which is very important, add additional practical tips to their repertoire, take the opportunity to discuss developments both with colleagues and clients, and obviously give you a chance to test your own knowledge. So what I'm going to do is, having said hello through the webcam, I'm going to stop you being distracted by me and we're going to get started. Okay, so first of all then, our first area is usually wills. And quite often in the last 12 months, we've had really nothing to say about wills. We had a slight hiatus, of course, which was a fairly major impact on your work, which was with the COVID-19 pandemic and the problems of compliance with the Wills Act. But there's been no development in relation to any suggested changes to our current law. So Section 9 of the Wills Act 1837 is still the operative provision, which is why you've been busy witnessing wills where people have had to do this through a window of some kind, either at home or through a car window. So is no news good news? Does that mean that nothing is going to happen with regard to changes to the Wills Act? I think the answer to that is no news is good news as far as I'm concerned at the moment. But I think for the medium term, it probably isn't good news. I think there does need to be some changes. So obviously we don't want people to end up without a will simply because they couldn't comply with the formal validity requirements of the Act. And one of the things which has been discussed, and is still being discussed by the Ministry of Justice, is whether or not we should give judges a similar dispensing power to that which applies in Australia and Canada and other countries, where basically there are strict rules, but the judge then is able to look at a piece of testamentary evidence and decide whether or not it should be given the go-ahead to be a valid will, or at least a valid expression of the deceased's wishes. So we don't have that at the moment. That might be one of the developments, rather than coming up with a short-term fix in relation to the current pandemic. So I think no news is good news at the moment. Let's do something properly and make it work. Okay, moving on then to probate. I think it would be fair to say that many probate practitioners are heartily fed up. And this is probably because the probate registry has itself been going through major change now for over 2 years.